Betty, Jessica says yes. Michelle, yes. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you guys. It's Facebook's glitchy. Oh, I can hear my voice.
So I can totally hear you on Facebook.
Do you have AirPods?
Or on my computer.
Do you have AirPods? Will that help on your phone? Now you're frozen. We were just on TikTok live and it was perfect. But now we can't hear you because you're muted.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
Okay, now I can hear you.
That is so weird. That is so weird. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being patient while we work out the glitches, as we do.
So weird.
So weird. So I put in the chat, I'll put it in again because I don't remember if I did it the second time. Join the Spirit Exchange. I don't even know if you can pin stuff on this app. I'm not sure. I'm afraid to touch anything.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
So the Spirit Exchange is an annual membership. Let me my camera fell over. Sorry, everybody.
It's like our first time doing this.
We've never. The Spirit Exchange is an annual membership. You get 10 gallery readings over a year for the price of one reading. And if you sign up by tomorrow, you get a free one-on-one private reading with either Kathi or myself. And I'm Peaceful Nik the Medium. I'm an evidential medium. My background's in science. And hi, Holly. And Kathi is hosting. And, you know, we're just working out the glitches.
I love it. We're just working with the glitches, right? So welcome, everybody. Welcome to our live, our Facebook Live. We were just on TikTok. Now we're over here. We are promoting, again, our Spirit Exchange, which is an awesome opportunity not only for people new to mediumship, but people that are that have a lot of people in spirit that want to communicate with their loved ones, right? Because we offer 10 gallery readings over a 12-month period where you have the opportunity to connect with your loved ones in spirit. Also, you will receive a recording of those events. So if you can't attend one, you'll receive a recording. And if you were on our TikTok, you understand that spirit will come through. If you're not there, they will wait, they will wait, they will wait. If they will know that you are going to see the recording. So even if you can't attend, you get a recording and you could still receive a message. So that's also very important to understand. Also, if you sign up by tomorrow, you get a free reading. So there's really no reason why not to sign up, because you get a reading and then you get 10 other chances to get more readings.
And it's for the cost of one reading. So you're basically, yeah,
right?
It's awesome. And then there's the a la carte version.
That's true.
And then we're going to be giving away prizes too.
Oh yeah. See, that's what gets me, because I like prizes.
Me too.
I like trying to win things.
Me too.
So at the end of each gallery event, we are going to be giving away a prize. So how awesome. You could receive a card reading. You could receive some spiritual merchandise. You could receive a coaching or private session, mentorship session with Nicole. So many opportunities, and you'll have to join to find out more.
Or right? A free reading for a friend. That's another prize.
Oh, that's a great, yeah.
That's another prize. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Each time it'll be different.
So one of the reasons why we came up with this, obviously, we know that a lot of people need healing. That's why we do these free lives, right? That's why we get together and we offer these free lives. But as we get into the summer months and we get into, just this time of year, we're not going to be able to do those free things as much. So this is just an opportunity for you to be able to connect at a very affordable. As one of our clients said, it's $15 for 2 mediums. I mean, I don't even know.
Year. Yeah,
per year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or join once for $25.
Yeah. If you can't make it all, you have the opportunity to just join once.
Or
but
join 5 times for $25 a piece,
yeah.
which costs more than the $150.
I know, right? What we're trying to do is give you every opportunity to still connect with your loved ones, and also give us the opportunity to enjoy our summer, enjoy life, and to not have, of course, we love doing these free readings, right? We love doing these free readings.
And we get to meet new people,
yes.
and they get to know us.
Yes. Yes. But with Spirit Exchange, you get this opportunity to connect with your loved ones for a whole year, for 12 months. So,
and I put it in the chat a few times. So if you click the chat where it says join the Spirit Exchange, all the details and links are below, and it tells you everything.
Awesome. So also, you know that we like to have fun. We like to have fun too. So we wanted to also answer your questions, any questions you have about mediumship, spirituality, dreams, visitations. You know that Peaceful Nik is a scientist, and she can answer all those quantum physics questions that I'm like, whew.
I just want to talk about that for like a whole live. I'm going to be making some new content about that. So stay tuned for that.
Then we want to do, like we did on TikTok, we're going to bring through an intuition game, and then we're going to do some free readings. So let's answer some questions. Please put your questions in the chat, and we're happy to answer those for you.
We have one. Is this session just to share the Spirit Exchange you're offering? No, we are going to do an intuition challenge or game. We're going to do some free live readings. We're going to just talk about different things about mediumship and answer questions. We just like to start the intro with the, basic information, because we both have a habit of forgetting to promote our stuff.
Yes.
So, we like to get it out of the way first, and then we can get into the stuff. So first we're going to answer questions, then we're going to do the intuition, and then we're going to do the readings.
Yeah, so please put your questions in the chat. We're happy to answer any questions you have about mediumship, spirituality. I'm an animal communicator, so anything you want to know about. I mean, Peaceful Nik, you are too, really, because you communicate with animals and spirit.
But it's not my specialty.
Yeah.
It's your specialty.
Anything
Mine's just occasionally one comes through.
So put your questions in the chat. We're happy to answer them.
Ooh, Rachel Smith says, is there anybody, this is a great question, that has passed that can't be reached?
Well, I'll just speak from experience. When I connect, I ask my clients, I give my clients one of two options, or actually I give my clients three options. One, we could just open it up to the spirit world, see who's there for you with messages. Two, we can do direct, where we just go to the spirit world and we invite one person that we want to connect, one person or pet that we want to connect with. We invite them into the reading. Or we can do a combination of both. I have yet, knock on wood, to ever have nobody come through. And you know why? Because our loved ones in spirit are always with us, around us, and they are right there. So that's been my experience. What about you, Nicole?
My experience is I have never had someone not show up. Like, there's always somebody there. Anytime someone, when I do a reading with a new client, I always start cold, and I just say, I'm going to connect with whoever comes through first, et cetera, et cetera. If we get halfway through the reading and there's somebody you really want to talk to, just say, hey, I really want to talk to so-and-so, and then I can go direct. Most people don't ever do that. They just, usually the person's there and we just proceed. So I have not had any issues connecting with a spirit. Now, there have been times when I've been sick and I did a reading, and I'll never do that again, when I should have rescheduled and I couldn't connect because of me.
Right.
But that's my problem, not the spirit. The spirits want to connect. So in my opinion, if the medium says they don't want to connect, that's the medium, not the spirit. That's my opinion.
100% agree. 100% agree. Spirit is always wanting to connect with us. Always, always, always.
We've got a lot of questions, so I'm rewinding.
Okay, good. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. But if I press the wrong button, I'll be back. Yes, we will be doing lives once yes, we will be doing readings. Yep. Oh, thank you, Patty Joe. Intuition game sounds fun. It's going to be, they usually spirit led, meaning which spirit come through to them, want to reach us. Yes. I was wondering if you have any messages. We'll get to that. What are the spirits doing to stay busy? That's a good question.
So I'll answer that first, so that you can add on. But from my experience and what has been brought to me through readings and even some of my meditations, is they are busy evolving. So it sounds so simple, right? They're busy evolving. They're busy learning lessons. They're busy helping others. They're busy growing their soul. They're working to, we're always working to grow, right? We're always looking to grow and advance and to move on. And to help others and to guide others. So there's many jobs in the spirit world. We could be a spirit guide. We could be an angel. We could, we could be a pet guardian. So there's just, this is what I've been shown. What about you, Peaceful Nik?
What? I agree with everything you said. I see myself as a teacher in this life and in spirit. I didn't know that until I started doing Sitting in the Power. And I found myself floating through space, literally, with all these other little spirits following me, like younger spirits, I guess you would say. And it blew my mind, call me crazy, I don't know. But I was going from one part of the galaxy to the universe, to the nebula, to all these different systems. And I was teaching them about where they want to incarnate. Do you want to go here? Do you want to go here? This place is like this place is like that. And that's what I found for my job in spirit. So I imagine, and I've read and heard stories, that you can literally do anything you want. If you want to go play golf for 1,000 years, you can go play golf for 1,000 years. Whatever you want to do, it's available to you. But most people are more interested in learning and growing their soul, just like you said. That's the most important thing. Someone asked, and I have to rewind again. Someone asked how I knew when I got the gift to talk to spirit or something to that effect, but it's way back up there. I've told the story many times. I worked in science communication and education, and I still do that part-time. I suddenly got a phone call from my sister, said a friend of the family passed away, and instinctively, claircognizantly, which I didn't know in my head, I knew it was a drug overdose. Later went to take a nap in broad daylight, was laying down for about 10 seconds. The person who passed away, Brandon, came in my head full color like a video. I can still see it to this day. Red sweater, gold chain, black hair, like a movie, said, "Tell my mom I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it." As clear as if he was inside my head. And then it happened again a few months later with another situation, and I found a teacher and got trained, and that's how Kathi and I met in classes. And yeah, it was like, so that's what happened to me.
And it can show up in different ways, right?
Yes.
It can show up in different ways for different people, but That was like a very like, whoo, in your face, like
dramatic.
Yeah.
Because, and I think it was dramatic. Two things. One, I'd had weird experiences my whole life that I kind of blew off and didn't really take that seriously. Two, my kids were grown by this time. So they had both graduated from high school. So I didn't have to take care of babies anymore. I wasn't taking my kids from here to there. So I had the time, and I think Spirit knew before that I couldn't have done that because I was involved with my kids and my family, and then I was free to do it. So I think that may have had something to do with why it was so dramatic. It was like, all right, lady, it's time. Let's go.
Can I just answer?
Yeah.
Charlene asked about anything from my dog. I do want to let you know that we're going to do readings, but when you asked that question, I just saw it, and I just see a tail wag. So, and I feel like this is significant because you need to know that their tail is wagging again. Okay, this was a concern of yours before he transitioned, and they're just showing me the tail wagging again. So I just have to bring that through really quick before we move on to some more questions.
Amanda says, also interested in this, and do you tell the person something even if it's something that will upset them? I just had that experience yesterday. You have to be professional because this is our job and we have to be professional. We never want to leave a client feeling worse at the end of a reading than when they came into a reading. Sometimes you have to use your human instincts to know whether something's appropriate to tell someone. We see a lot of stuff, I'm sure Kathi does too, that we're not going to describe vividly in detail. And some things you have to say, if I tell this person what I'm seeing, is this going to help them or hurt them? And that's the situation I had in one of my readings yesterday. There were things that I could have told my client that would hurt them and not help them. So I didn't tell them the painful things. I told them the kind and loving things because I'm not going to leave my client feeling worse. I'm just not going to do it. So, but there are things that you can tell. You just kind of have to use discernment. You have to think, is this worth telling them? Are they going to feel worse? Or is this something I can tell them in a more gentle way? Like some evidence you can describe gently, like someone who takes their own life. You can say, they're making me feel like they're responsible for their passing instead of using those other terms. Right. Those are things we say regularly. But other things, family secrets that will be harmful. Some of those things I do hold back because I just don't feel like it's appropriate to say some of those things to people unless it's pertinent to the reading for a very specific purpose. So we use a lot of discernment. What do you think, Kathi?
So I agree exactly what you're saying, and I was kind of going back through the comments, and something stuck out to me that I want to make sure that I answer. Deshi Moondai says, "Is there heaven and hell?"
I make a lot of videos about this.
I know, and this is a question near and dear to our hearts because, as mediums, you know this. I have never once in any of the readings I've ever given experienced any type of hell. Hell is a human made up thing to scare us, to make us feel fear, to make us conform to a certain, if we don't do this, we're going to go to hell.
Yep.
I have never once in any of my readings, no matter how a person transitions, ever experienced hell.
100% agree. Mm-hmm. And then Patty Joe asked, do you get messages along with the evidence? So interesting. Mm-hmm. Not all mediums do messages. We both
Just. Mm-hmm.
Some mediums are just evidence, 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 which is great and proves that life goes on beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But we both, Kathi and I, and all the mediums we work closely with, give healing messages. It's kind of like, I feel like the most important part to get that message from your loved one, because giving evidence is great, but you're here to heal. You want to hear healing messages.
You want to hear what your loved one has to say to you. You want to hear, right? Giving that evidential, that's great. I always ask, okay, give me a message. What do you have to say? Why are you here? Why did you come? What does your loved one need to heal their heart right at this moment? So,
and usually the message is part of the evidence anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. When you come to a reading with me, or even with Peaceful Nik, you want to think of, okay, I have these questions in my mind, or this is what I want answered today. And 100 times out of 100, 99% out of the time, Spirit will already answer those questions, because you set that intention. They know what you need to hear.
And that's the best. I love when I'm doing a reading and I'll give a piece of evidence and it's going to make me cry. The client says, that's the exact thing I asked them to tell me. That's the exact thing I said. If you're really there, tell me about this, so and so and so. And it's great. Or the evidence that comes later, like that's validated by a third party later. I love that. I get emails about that all the time after readings.
Yep.
There's so many questions.
I know.
So I'm be able to find them all.
So I'm way back here, and Kelly says, is there ever a time when your loved ones in spirit should be let go? Isn't that a great question?
Yeah, but does that mean like stop? I don't know what it means.
So I'm wondering if she's asking, should we not try to communicate? Should we just let them go? So this is what I say to you. We are all here. We are all souls having a human experience, right? So why would you ever want to let your soul companion, your soul mate, your soul person go? So don't. There's no reason. Some fake mediums, some fake will tell you, if you don't do this, your person can't cross, or if you don't do this, that's bull.
And then they charge you for it.
Yeah.
Which I think I saw that happen. Somebody told you that the other day. Somebody charged them money to release a soul or something.
Yesterday.
And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. The other thing I'll say is, to add to that is, if you're getting so many readings, even if it's from different mediums, so the same one doesn't know, eventually the communication is going to get weaker, because they want you to heal. So not hearing from them, or giving, however she stated it, like not wanting to connect or whatever,
letting go.
You don't have to do that. But as long as you've healed your wound from their passing a good bit, it's fine. But if you're not healing and you're just getting readings to try to heal through the reading, that's not going to work. You don't want to get them repeatedly.
Good point. So I am back here. Betty says, I lost my daughter last month. She was 14. She has come to me in 2 different dreams. What does this mean? Okay, so first, Betty, I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. And I do want to just extend this opportunity to you, if you haven't already. There's a wonderful organization called Helping Parents Heal that provides so much support for bereaved parents. So if you haven't yet looked into them, please do so. Helping Parents Heal is a worldwide organization. helpingparentsheal.org, or you can find their Facebook page. I will be there on April 2nd doing gallery mediumship readings. So what your question is, she has come to you in 2 different dreams. What does this mean? I will just say, how did you feel in those dreams? What did you see in those dreams? How did you feel? Do you feel like when you woke up from those dreams, you felt better? Or do you think you felt, sometimes these dreams can be a manifestation of our own feelings. Sometimes they are true visitations. It just depends. How did you feel? What happened during that dream? I just want to assure you, Betty, that your daughter in spirit is okay. She is, her soul's at peace. I want to say, no matter how she transitioned, okay? No matter how she transitioned, she is at peace. Her soul is at peace. She's always with you. You are connected at the soul level. You have a soul bond. So just know that she is okay. She is at peace. And if the dream left you happy and feeling like it was real, it was a visitation.
Can I add on to that
Yes.
for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Many times we get the question, if my loved one unalived themselves, if my loved one died violently, murder, whatever, if my loved one died suddenly and wasn't expecting it, did they go to heaven? Did they go home? Did they cross over? Yes, everyone crosses over. You never have to worry that your loved ones aren't safe and at peace. And I know as a mom, if I lost a child, which is, the hardest from what I experience in my mediumship, I would feel very much the same. Even though I'm a medium, I would still feel very much like, is he safe? Because I have 2 boys. Is he at peace no matter what happens? But let me reassure you, everyone crosses over no matter how they pass. Addiction, accidental overdose, purposeful overdose, anything. There is no punishment. I had this conversation with someone the other day, talking about someone going to hell for unaliving themselves. And I said, when you are unaliving yourself, when you make that decision, you are suffering so much. You have something very painful happening in your mind and in your life, to where you feel like that is the only way to free yourself from that pain. Why would, if you believe in God that sends you to heaven or hell, why would God, if that's your belief system, punish someone for hurting? It doesn't make sense. And I just feel very strongly that there's so many misconceptions and so many people suffer because they believe things that religious dogma tells them that are not true. And it's so painful to people. And then we get a bad rap for saying there's no hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get on YouTube, I get Bible thumping comments all the time about it because they really believe that, and it's just not true. And I just don't want people to think their loved ones are suffering because they were already suffering.
Yeah. So I want to go to the next comment right after that. Was Amber said, I understand spirit is energy, but can we embrace when we return together? Will I ever embrace my partner again?
Oh, that is a beautiful question.
I love this question, and I want to answer that because I want to say yes, because I've experienced this in my dreams, right? I have experienced this in my dreams, and I know many of you have experienced this in your dreams, where you connect with your loved one again, and there might not even be any words, but you just see each other and you embrace, and it is the most real feeling, because it is. So yes, you will embrace, that love, that energy, right? It doesn't go away.
Nope.
It doesn't go away.
And I want to add to that too.
Mm-hmm.
When we're in spirit, our normal form would be a ball of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathy knows because she has one as one of her guides,
Mm-hmm.
which is beautiful. But you can manifest a physical body and embrace in spirit if you want. Just like when you see, like I've seen a person walk through my house before many years ago, fully formed, a ghost, if you want to call it that. But I know that was a spirit who just was like stopping by to say hello and let me know he was just walking around my house. But his normal form would be just an orb of energy. But yes, you can manifest a body and embrace. Yes.
So next after that was Courtney Johnson. She says, is spirit reincarnated? Can you still reach them? Oh, I think we answered that already, right?
No, that was on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
We had
yes.
that same question. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, yes. So yeah, because our oversoul, the main part of our soul exists in spirit, in the spirit world, the quantum realm, the collective consciousness, however you want to define it, heaven. Our spirit is big and only a tiny bit of it is in our body. And there's no real time in spirit. So we are really living all of our life simultaneously. That's a little bit much for this answer, but we can communicate with this oversoul, whether or not you're Cleopatra or Medium Kathi,
Yeah.
or, whoever, you can always communicate with the spirit, no matter if they're reincarnated or not.
And yes, perfect, because I felt like we answered this. So Patty Joe says, do soulmates connect on the other side? I just want to say anyone that you have loved and felt connected to here in the physical world, you will reconnect with in the spirit world. Soulmates is a broad term. Soulmate could be anybody, because you could be soulmates with anyone, not just a love interest. It could be your best friend, your mom, your sister, your dad.
And right? You could be a soulmate in a romantic partnership in one life, and you can be a soulmate best friends in the next life, or grandpa and granddaughter. There's many combinations of many iterations. Like my husband and I, when I first met him 30 years ago, I looked at him and I'm like, God, there you are. And I never met him before, but I just knew. And I know we've had many lifetimes together. But he may have been a buddy. He may have been one of my horses, or, a dog, or my uncle, or my mom. It could have been any combination.
So I'm still way back in the comments, and I'm at Ashley's comment when she says, I love this comment though, this question, because we don't really get this very much. Do younger spirits have more of a challenging time coming through, relaying messages, versus someone who's older and been gone?
I have a story.
There you go.
One of my most loyal clients and one of the strongest spirits that I have ever encountered is a premature baby that was born and passed. And I was blown away because I didn't know some of these things that she told me. I had to look it up later, when this baby told me she was on the council, and I didn't know what that meant.
Yep.
I just got that message. I said, she's telling me she's on the council. And I had no idea what that was until later. And yeah, so it doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter.
I love that. I love that. Go ahead. I'm still
no, I'm just looking. Somebody asked a question I wanted to answer. Oh, if a loved one is stubborn and private in life, will they still come through? I have a very close person who was very stubborn and private, and he has come through. He doesn't come through all the time, but he leaves lots of signs, and it's kind of hilarious because his name was David. He was my brother-in-law. And every time my husband and I go anywhere, get waited on, get served at a grocery store, restaurant, Home Depot, wherever, there's always a David. Starbucks, there's always a David. Always, always, always. And my husband had to call someone for service the other day, and the person said, "Hello, this is David. How can I help you?" And he just looked at me like, again. So they may not come through the traditional way, but they will come through in some way. And he also, my husband had some stuff that happened this week that he had to take care of. And I was saying to David in spirit, and his father's also passed. I'm like, please come through to my husband. Please come through to him. Please come through to him. Please come through to him. And I didn't tell my husband. And then after my husband's stuff he went through, he said to me, he goes, I've been dreaming about my dad and my brother the last 2 nights.
Love it.
And I was just like bursting into tears. Like, that's so beautiful. And that's,
Yeah.
that's what can happen. They can come in all different kinds of ways, stubborn or not.
And can I just add that I have experienced in my readings that our personalities really don't change in spirit. That's like one of the main pieces of evidence, or the main thing that I get when I connect to spirit is like, oh, I'm getting their personality, and it doesn't change, right?
And that's a big part of the evidence. Rachel Smith wants to know, since you aren't a Christian, which I'm not judging, do you still pray? So I consider myself, I'm not saying I'm not a Christian. I am just not,
Religion.
I'm not religious. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to the strict rules that are made up and misinterpretations, or just completely made up rules of the church. I have Jesus right over here on my wall. I have Mary. I have angels. I have one of my best favorite books is about Jesus over here. I love Jesus. What he said was amazing, but it's just been distorted. So, what do you say, Kathi?
I think you answered that perfectly. I'll just say that
I'm gonna grab the book.
I always found it. So I grew up, my parents made me go to a Catholic, what is that, when I had to go to like Sunday school, and then I had to get
CCD, catechism.
Yes, CCD, get confirmed, all that. So my best friend and I, who's still my best friend to this day, 40 some years later, we would always get in trouble because I think we knew back then, like, this is not real. This is not, like, we would get in trouble because we would laugh. We would get kicked out. The teacher would be like, you need to sit in the hall for laughing. Because we're like, this is not real. Like, this is not real.
They
So
they don't explain things in a spiritual way. So if you're interested in the spiritual Jesus, this is the author, Resurrecting Jesus. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I wept through most of it because I believe the things Jesus said and did, the loving things, were, it's highlighted like crazy. I just read this book, Resurrecting Jesus by Adyashanti. Amazing. I'm not going to elaborate on it anymore, but it's the spiritual side of what he really meant.
Can I answer this question for Mary? Mary Spano says, I had an animal reading recently and all my pets were not present. Why would that be when I was so close to them? So I would just say that maybe they were just trying to give you time with other animals. They know that you needed to hear from your other ones first, or more, or really, Spirit just wants to give us what we need at that moment to heal our hearts. So don't ever think that all of them weren't there. It was the ones that came forward that you needed to hear from the most or at that moment. So just know that your animals and spirit are always around you. And, you know, they just wanted to give you that opportunity to receive the messages from the ones you needed to hear from the most. I hope that helps.
I have a question about animal communications.
Mm-hmm.
So I was staring out my window to my, alligator pit. I saw the alligator eating a duck, and I thought, it's a whole wildlife scene out there. I'm on wildlife watch every morning. He's rolling. I can see his white belly.
We saw an alligator today right on the side of our boat. Yeah.
It's be careful. They will take an arm off, or they'll just take you in the water. So I was thinking, I'm going to ask Kathi, do ducks have spirits? Have you ever had a duck come through, or a bird?
I have had birds, I have had chickens, and I had a rooster. I've never had a duck.
So birds. So they're all in the same family. Okay, because I was like, that duck just got eaten by that.
Yeah.
I go, Doug.
Yes.
Doug couldn't get up from the chair, and I go, he's eating. He's spinning. We named our alligator that's in the backyard Kirby. So if anybody's interested, and he's got a girlfriend now, Lucy. So
well, it's about time for mating season that I've been reading, because
that's what
we saw our first one go by the boat today. So
somebody asked something. Hi, Kelly. She said, welcome to Florida. It's your fault I'm here. Kelly's the reason why I knew Spirit told me to move here. We were debating the move, and I had a reading with her, or a class, might have been a class, and she had on a Florida shirt and had the map of Florida, and I said, is that the map of Florida? Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. So it's all your fault, Kelly. There was a question, Joanna says, why is it some souls don't realize they are dead?
well, I don't know, because I've never had that experience.
I haven't either.
Never experienced that in a reading, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you experienced that in a reading?
I have not. I have never experienced that. In my opinion and my experience and all the things I've read and all the mediums I've worked with and talked to and listened to, I've never, if a medium has told you that, they could be misinformed and trained poorly or underdeveloped if someone's telling you that. You have to make sure when you book a reading with a medium, any ethical, legitimate medium will send you their credentials. They'll send you references to other clients they've had. They'll have a legitimate website. They won't private message you. So make sure, if you're paying money, make sure you vet your medium before you book a reading. Because
Could I address this question from Jane? She says, Jane Massengill says, I once had a medium tell me a dark spirit was coming through, and he was embarrassed and sorry for the way he treated me in life. She did not want to communicate with him. Does this make sense? No.
Thank you.
Red flag.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you, Jane, I'm sorry that you had that experience. That was not a medium. That was not a true ethical medium. No true ethical medium will ever, like we said before, will never want you to leave a reading feeling worse than you came in. Our job is to make you feel healed, to give you healing, to connect with your loved ones and give you evidence of the continuity of life. Life exists after this physical death, and to give you messages of peace, hope, and healing. So I want to reassure you that no, that does not make sense.
And to add to that, some mediums have not healed their own trauma and may be trained, but getting trained doesn't mean you're going to be a good medium, because if you're bringing through your own garbage that you haven't healed, you're going to bring through negativity. I think any negativity come like that example comes from the medium's own manifestations of whatever they haven't dealt with. They can see something that may have happened. Someone may have mistreated you, but the way they portrayed it wasn't proper and accurate. That's my opinion. So they may have a connection, but they're adding their own human stuff. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I just see red flags all over that. Red. Run.
Heather said about the dream and hugging her son. Good. 2 years. Yeah, sometimes they take a while. My brother-in-law took a long time to come through. A very long time.
Did we answer this? I just want to address this. And Kate, I don't remember if we addressed this. When you do a private reading, can you be direct with the client even if it's embarrassing? Did we answer this?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I do want to say, I use discernment, right? I will be like, I will say, do you want to know everything? Do you want me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you what I am getting? And most people are like, go for it. And they'll be like, okay, I'm just giving you what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yesterday I gave a reading.
Spirit and you. Yep.
Yeah, I gave a reading and some private, intimate information started coming through, and I said, if you don't want me to say it, tell me to stop. I'll say something private and personal is coming through. If you would like me to stop, tell me to stop. Please interrupt me. She's like, nope, say it all. But I don't say vulgar things. You know, as a medium, you can't just be saying vulgar things. You have to use proper language, and, you know, like you're talking to, you know, a younger person that you have to use good language with. That's what I would say. Christy says, do you ever find it particularly difficult to understand the message spirits are trying to give you? And how do you work with the spirits to clarify their message and intentions? I don't ever find it difficult to understand the message. How do you work with the spirits to clarify the message? I don't really ever have to do that. They just tell me. It's pretty clear. If I ever have to get clarification, I'll say, can you give me that in a different way? Can you show me that in a different way? Some of the messages are never hard for me. It's the evidence and interpreting the weird random things they show us. That's the hard part. There's so many questions.
Agreed. So can I answer? This is a good one too from Patty. She says, do they have downtime? Like, could they do things they enjoyed, like fishing, for example? And I don't know, did we address this here or on TikTok?
But I'm sorry, I was reading comments. I wasn't listening.
So do our loved ones in spirit, do they have downtime? Like, can they do the things that they enjoy? For example, fishing. So I think we answered this on TikTok. I'm not sure if we answered it here, but we create our own, right? We create our own
reality.
We create our own spirit world. We create what, and I love, and the perfect example of this is for me, it may not be for everybody, but the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. I love that interpretation of the spirit world because that's how I feel. Like, that is how you can see how he interprets the spirit world, how his children interpret the spirit world, how his wife interprets the spirit world. It's how we interpret it.
And that's why when people have near-death experiences, they have different, some people see Jesus, some people see a big tree. You know, it just depends on your interpretation of what it's going to be.
Yep.
Oh, thanks, Yvonne. It's 2:50 a.m. She set an alarm. She's in South Africa.
Oh my gosh.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
I don't know how much of my trauma of losing our mom that I have healed. Well, have you had some counseling? Do all spirits become spirit guides? I don't think so.
No. I don't believe so either.
Aloha from Hawaii. Hello. Somebody asked about auras. Are they a thing? Yes, I think they are. We all emanate. Yeah, we all emanate a certain energy. And I'll tell you from the scientific side, our heart, our actual physical heart in our body, emanates a 3 to 5 foot ring of energy, of electrical energy around our body. Our body is about 70% water. Water has its own energetic field. The atoms that make up our cells all have their own energetic field. There's a positive and a negative. Every atom that connects to each other has a plus and a minus. They connect like Legos, like magnetic Legos. Every atom in your body, which you have trillions of. So we have an electromagnetic field. So our aura is real, scientifically and metaphysically.
Can I add to that as well?
Of course.
Our aura changes constantly. It is revolving and circling constantly. So, you know, when you get an aura reading, you can have certain colors in your aura that day. The next day, it's completely different because we are energy. We're constantly evolving and changing.
Yep, agree. Because our mood can change from 1 minute to the next, and our feelings about different things.
And
who we're around.
We are running our energy constantly, right? We're taking our energy from the
You did the same thing I did earlier. We're going to make it through, everybody. We're going to make it through.
We're running our energy constantly from the ground up to the top, right? We're running our energy all the time. So it's going to change. Our auric field is going to change constantly.
Yep. Somebody asked if they attend their own funeral. Sure, they can. I've gotten that evidence a lot in readings where they say, thank you for doing this or that. I had one the other day on a live. The lady where her son came through about the birds and she couldn't take the birds. Do you remember that? She couldn't take the birds, and he kept talking about the birds. He kept talking about the birds, and she emailed me a picture of the birds in the cage they released after his funeral.
That's the best evidence when it comes after. I swear to God.
Yeah. It always makes me so happy.
And can I just add to this? I was at, I'm going to bring up my best friend again, who I went to CCD with, and we live in separate states, and this was just like a couple years ago. Her aunt passed away, and I knew her aunt, and I was close with her aunt, and I'm very close with my best friend, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to come back, I'm going to go to her funeral with you. And while we were at her wake and the preacher was giving her sermon, I look over to her, I'm like, do you see her? She's dancing. She's just dancing back and forth. And she's like, oh my God, you could just see this energy going back and forth. Like, she is here and she is loving this and she's having a great time. Yeah.
Can I say something? That's a beautiful story, but before we forget, because my copy paste isn't working anymore, join the Spirit
Oh,
Exchange before we do a couple readings, because we could probably answer 100 more questions.
right.
Join the Spirit Exchange. For the price of one reading, you get 10 galleries over a year and a free one-on-one reading with either Kathi or myself if you sign up by tomorrow night. It's on both of our websites. Her link, I think, is on here. It's kathibehrens.com is her link to her website. I'm sure it's in her bio. Mine's peacefulnikthemedium.com. You can find us on all the socials, send us a message. Now, I will say Facebook Messenger is terrible. And often I don't get those messages. If
Yeah.
you're not like friends with me, I won't see them for a week or two and I accidentally find them just from pressing the wrong button usually. So I prefer email because I check that a few times a day. So the Spirit Exchange. And some people are saying, I joined the Spirit Exchange. Can't wait. Wonderful, Brittany. Join the Spirit Exchange on kathibehrens.com or peacefulnikthemedium.com. You can send us an email if you're not sure. I'll type yours is shorter, so I'll type yours in.
It's so interesting. I can't figure out how, since I have you on here, I can't figure out how to put a comment in. And I don't want to touch too much because I don't want to.
I know, same thing. Here, I can put it in. I know, right, Lori? It is a fantastic deal. You get a reading and 10 galleries plus free prizes. We're going to give free prizes away every time. You could win a class because I teach classes. You could win a reading for a friend. You could win animal communication, all different kinds of stuff we're going to give away. So do you want to do a couple readings?
Okay, so we do have a lot of comments that we didn't address. So I just want to say I'm so sorry if we didn't get to those. I was trying to go back as far as I could.
Oh, Holly wants to know what's the gallery. A gallery is a Zoom. So you'll be given a Zoom link and everybody joins the Zoom and then we do readings. We do little
It's
mini
kind of like
10.
this, right?
Yeah, it's like this, except we can see you and hear you in the Zoom. And we give readings.
And it's more intimate,
yeah.
Right? It's more intimate. There's not as many people. We get to see you. We get to connect with you. It's kind of like a safe space that you come to every month.
About every month. There's 10 over the next year. And the first one's April 4th. I'll put my
so strange. I can't figure out how to type in anything.
That's what happened to me on TikTok. I couldn't figure it out. It took me like 10 lives to figure it out. All right, before we start readings, I'm going to mute and run to the other room real quick. If you can go ahead and start if you want.
Oh my goodness, I'm way behind here.
There are so many comments. There are so
I'm so sorry if we didn't get to you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I was way behind. Oh my goodness.
Cass wants to know, can we sign up for the Spirit Exchange anytime in the next 10 months? You can sign up for one at a time. Yeah, you can sign up $25